Happy Monday, folks, and welcome to the Final Cut, your daily pulse in horror. I'm your host, Travis, and on today's show, we got a YouTuber turned filmmaker that landed a $15 million TIFF deal. The Conjuring Last Rites opens to a record-shattering number, and AMC wants your screams and your cash with a brand new Slash Pass. But here's the question. Is all of this great news for horror or warning signs of what's to come? Let's cut into it. Toronto's Midnight Madness is already living up to its name. Focus Features is in exclusive talks to buy Obsession, the buzzed about horror flick from YouTube sensation Curry Barker, for a deal worth over $15 million. Now, if you're thinking, wait, who is Curry Barker? Let me remind you. He's the filmmaker behind Milk and Cereal, the cult YouTube hit shot for just $800. That micro-budget banger racked up over 2 million views, and now he's center stage at TIFF. Obsession stars Michael Johnston and Indy Nervate in a story about a hopeless romantic whose wish for love turns into a nightmare of enchantment. The film made its world premiere Friday, and insiders say the deal includes US and partial international rights. Focus already has horror momentum after Nosferatu brought in $182 million globally, and this just cements them as a top studio being big on genre again. My question for you guys is Obsession proof that YouTube is the new pipeline for tomorrow's horror auteurs? Let me know what your answers would be in the comments ahead. Meanwhile, The Conjuring Last Rites just dropped an exorcism on the box office. With a $187 million global debut, including 104 of that internationally, it's now the biggest overseas horror debut of all time, the second biggest global horror opening ever, and the top debut in franchise history across 41 countries. Let's talk the impact. Conjuring Last Rites is the #1 horror launch ever in places such as Spain, Poland, Brazil, Colombia, and Chile. Warner Brothers now leads the entire global box office race for 2025, and Last Rites even claimed 91% of the market share in the Philippines. In my HMU review, I called it a final bow that commands both the screen and the charts, even if the scares are no longer the star. Whether you're not a fan or a fan of the direction, the franchise went out massive. My question for you guys is, with these numbers, is this truly The Conjuring's last rite, or just the setup for his resurrection? Let me know your answers in the comments ahead. Just in time for spooky season, AMC has summoned a bloody new ticket bundle, the Slash Pass. Here's what you get. First off, it's $66.66. You get access to 6 horror films between now and the end of 2025. You can use it solo or bring friends to a single showing, and it works for both new horror films and classic re-releases. Upcoming entries include The Long Walk, which will be in theaters this week. Super excited for that. Him, which drops September 19th. Black Phone 2, which is out October 17th. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which will be out December 5th. And AMC's Thrills and Chills banner, which is going to be Candyman, Terrifier, Scream, and more. AMC says horror is one of their top performing genres, especially with Gen Z who prefer the communal scream experience over solo streaming. Love that. My question for you guys is the Slash Pass a clever horror deal or just another gimmick to squeeze blood from your wallet? Let me know your answers in the comments ahead. Speaking of strategy, NBC Universal Chair Donna Langley made headlines during TIFF in a conversation about changing audiences' takes. Her take? Horror isn't just what it was a decade ago. Our tour directors are turning to it. The audience is shifting in front of our eyes. She also cited the letterbox generation as a key demo. Those younger moviegoers who will pay $25 for premium formats like 70mm and IMAX just to say they saw it is the best way possible. From Longlegs to Sinners to Nosferatu, Langley says horror, comedy, and original films remain their creative wildcards, and the results speak for themselves. But she also noted the competition is ruthless over IMAX screens, calling it a rugby scrum, love that, to win those opening weekend slots. My question for you guys is, are we finally entering the area or the era of prestige horror? Or will studios pull back once the margins get messy? I think we're going to be fine. Let me know your guys' answers in the comments ahead. Today's take: horror is no longer fighting for respect, it's setting the pace. From Curry Barker's YouTube Origins to the Conjuring's global reign, studios are investing in vision, not just franchises. And when AMC drops a horror pass at $66.66, it means one thing: they know the demand is real. But the question now is, how long until it gets watered down again? Keep your eye on the creators. They're the ones who's keeping horror weird, wild, and worth showing up for. If you're listening to today's show on Spotify, make sure you answer today's Spotify poll question. Got a tip or a breaking news story for us? Let us know in our DMs. That's it for The Final Cut, your daily post in horror, your daily dose of terror, truth, and ticket sales. Follow us over at HMUNCUT. Hit me up at Travis Nightquill with an extra L at the end on all socials. And hit up that Patreon. Just search Horror Movies Uncut for indie horror coverage. Make sure to always head to our website. Check out our new sponsors on there. You get you some Blu-ray DVDs from Grove. We got HalloweenCostumes.com up there right now, just in time for you guys to go get you some costumes on. But we're kicking off the week. We got one more week and a few days here left in the home base before we head out to Fantastic Fest. So look for that coverage to wrap up as well. But you know the drill. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, keep the lights on.